Alright guys, getting the rest of this, the greatest comic book haul ever. Let's turn this around here. Get some lighting going. Ta-da! Alright, this is the last of the greatest comic book haul ever. And this shouldn't take too long compared to the other videos. So if you have made it through all the other videos, congratulations. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Okay. What we have in here is, before we get to the comics, was something I'm really excited about. I'm a Charlie Brown guy. You asked for it, Charlie Brown. A little paperback. These things in antique shops sell for $4 to $8. So to find this, I used to have a huge stack of these. I've still got some, but nothing like when I was a kid. I got a little bit of a collection of them. So next thing we got was, I love these little blue ribbon digest. Secret Origins of Superheroes. Absolutely love these little things. They kind of what kept me going there in the early 80s. And in this one we had the origin of the Superman-Batman team. Batman and Robin recall how they first met the Man of Steel. Mystery of the Elongated Man. The Flash meets the Stretchable Sleuth with the new heroes starting his career. How Aquaman got his powers. The Sea King, of course. Brotherly Hate. Lightning Lad and Light Lass recall their origin and that of the Legion of Superheroes when they have to track down their brother. It's got Hawkman's origin, it's got the origin of Robin, and it's got the Supergirl from Krypton. Now all of these are reprints, and just a little something there. You know, if the lighting's good, it's nighttime. But great stuff, and it's smelling better and better every day. Okay, we got Magnus Robot Fighter from 4000 AD, Whitman cover. I'm hoping it's some kind of variant. It's slightly rolled. Spine's got some crease marks, but you know, it survived very well. Okay. Something I was excited about. I love this series, and it started before the TV show. But anyway, we have Space Family Robinson, Lost in Space, from Gold Key, and another issue back to back. Love that series. Another one I love, and this is the one that I actually wish I could collect a whole bunch. I got some Gold Key and Dell of these that are mine. Thinking about actually selling those. But anyway, Turok, Son of Stone, a Whitman. Great series. And another one. I'm very excited to find these. And yet another one with a big old honker on it. Okay. Also a Whitman cover. From Gold Key, Twilight Zone. Whitman, but it's a Gold Key book. Lone Ranger with you know, a big name on it. Somebody's written in ink on there. Bobby Baker, maybe. I have your book, Bobby. And a Whitman variant of, if it is, I'm going to have to look it up anyway. It's Gold Key Star Trek. And a lot of people don't know, but Lin Win, the guy who created Wolverine, created Swamp Thing, he got fired. I can't remember if it was from Marvel or DC, and all he did was he just walked on down the road, went to Gold Key and said he wanted a job. And they were saying, "You want a job? What are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, I write comics." And they were like, "Good God, man, why?" And he actually took over the Star Trek book and made notes and stuff, sent out to the writers and everything to have them fix things to make it match the show more. Moving on. Korg, #1. 10,000 BC. If it's got cavemen in it, if it's Hanna-Barbera, I'm going to dig it. This is both. Caveman, Bigfoot. Alright, here's something I found that I don't know if I put in the other videos or not, but we have Batman 244, but don't get too excited, folks. That is Ra's al Ghul. That is Batman. And the cover comes off. But it's cool. I have it. This is beautifully done. Great book. Definitely want to track those down. Now we're into the magazines. I'm going to save one for last. I'm a King Kong nut. We're talking monkeys and stuff. I got a King Kong special from Monsters that interviews all kinds of people, and this came out I think around the time that the first remake of King Kong came out with Jeff Bridges. And just the stuff in here, oh my god, they got interviews with It's all about beasts and monsters, and I mean, this is just a great one to collect. Even if you're not into these, you might want to kind of get it. This is Famous Monsters number 132. That's going to end up getting framed. Now, here's a book that I won't talk too long about here, but this is a book called 1980, a magazine called 1984, and Warren Publishing, 1978, and then it's number 3. I have another one here, and I took it off and read it, and I don't know where it's at, so I might stick in another video. But okay, let me give you a little history here by memory of this book. First, it's Warren Publishing, okay, and it's a heavy metal type book. You know, you had eerie, creepy, and then you had heavy metal. Heavy metal started as a French book. French book got brought over here, you know, American publisher and everything. And Warren Publishing started putting out in 1984. 1984 is what I consider kind of the bad boy of those magazines, because they got, I remember they had to change the book after the first year. It was to 1994, because the George Orwell state got a hold of them and said, you know, 1984 is a novel, so they changed it. Then they got in trouble with, well, they made Wally Wood mad, number 1. They took one of his stories, I don't know what they did, they chopped it up, rearranged panels and pages and changed dialogue, and he wrote and drew it. So they had him working for them, Wally Wood. What else did they do? Harlan Ellison, I think, got really mad at him because they plagiarized one of the stories. They were going to adapt it. I think they said no, so they, you know, gave it a new title, changed some characters around, but it was still plagiarism. And it actually might have what made the book kind of end after a few years. And it's notorious because it was famous for having the most boobs I've ever seen in those magazines. I was 7, 8, 9 years old, and I just remember there was boobs everywhere in all the magazines. And they had people working for them. I mean, you know, big comic book talent. Wally Wood. Great covers, of course. Let me see who's in this one. Well, they had like Wally Wood and Esteban Morato, you know, a bunch of 70s guys. Richard Corbin, Jan Strand. Jan Strand, if I'm saying his name right, he did Sword of the Atom, but he was a big science fiction writer first. Richard Corbin is famous for Den, who was a mainstay in the heavy metal magazines. I think he popped up in a few places. Marvel grabbed him in the early 2000s when Joe Quesada took over. He did some Hulk, among other things. He's a big name, like in adult magazines. Moving on. We have Mad Magazine, which I remember this one thoroughly from when I was a kid, you know. And then we had the Cracked magazine, Cracked Me Up, because basically, you know, even their format inside it's Mad Magazine. But, you know, this is all, apparently, you know, it's all Star Wars parody, so, you know, it's probably a gold mine. There's the Bionic Man, and, you know. And you know what? I cannot remember who their Alfred E. Newman wannabe mascot's name is, and it's right on the tip of my tongue. God. Alright, we got a issue of Epic Magazine. This is number, oh, give me a number. August of 1985. That's near the end. Oh, number 31. And what's cool about this is, you know, I think everybody's heard about it before. It's nothing new. But there's a Last Galactus story that John Byrne was drawing and writing, and it was really taken off. Terry Austin Inc. You know, Galactus comes back to Earth, I mean, thousands of years in the future with Nova. And they never finished the story. And this may be the last one. That may be the last panel. I don't know. I have to look up. But those are the stars changing, making a spider web. So we have an Eerie, February 1980, number 109. Very excited. You know, great stuff. Superman the movie, little booklet. That's my Superman. I was a kid then. Oh, looky here. Clint Eastwood. Every Which Way But Loose with Clyde. Bonus. There we go. Check that out. Yeah. Okay, now this little gold mine. Okay, this is from Charlton Comics, the $6 Million Man. Okay, Steve Oscar, you know, you see all this stuff. Steve and Oscar, and meet the real Steve Austin. And I never heard of this. I never saw this. I knew Charlton put out some Bionic Man comics, you know. And, you know, you've got your standard little, you know, face shots, head shots. And then you get into the comic book part of this. Okay, this really surprised me because, let me find the credit here to make sure I'm telling you right, but it's got Neil Adams art in it. I never knew Neil Adams did anything. Here's people who did the art in this, okay? Actual names, okay? Neil Adams, a guy named Steve Austin, Terry Austin, who else would you heard of? Dick Giordano, Klaus Janson, Carl Potts, Joe Rubenstein, Mark Rice, Bruce Patterson. You know, I was just really amazed. And looks like there's like, you know, 4 or 5 little short black and white short stories here. But you know, Neil Adams working for Charlton, I do not remember that. Yeah, here we go. That's Adams. Seems like they had a Bigfoot story in here. But I mean, first of all, it's $6 Million Man, and then we get Neil Adams art in this. I mean, I think we get the little. I'm trying to look in here. If y'all were waiting. You know, excellent stuff. I mean, I cannot believe this is, you know, from Charlton. It's from Charlton Publication. Cannot believe it. And, you know, they actually made him look like Lee Majors. Anyway, I was excited about that. So, congratulations. You made it through the whole haul, minus one magazine and maybe a random comic book I've already put up here and there. So, we'll see what's going on. Alright, thanks. We made it. It's over. I can put the rest of these up. Oh.